Well, joining me is a gentleman who is one of those invaluable members of harness racing. Only 2 or 3 horses at any given time, certainly plays his part in keeping the industry rolling along. And he joins me as a winner, the first winner at Clubman Angle for 2023, the Gold Standard. I'm joined by his owner and trainer, David Lindon. Well, Dave, it's been quite a few years since I last had the pleasure to interview you. That was back in the days of Harold Park, but you're joining me today as a winner, the first win of the new season at Clubman Angle. Well done, the Gold Standard, an outstanding win.
It certainly was. He's certainly shown his gold standard, hasn't he? He's been a lovely horse, and we haven't had him that long, probably 12 months now. But I was quite successful with him to start off with, and then I gave him a bit of a break and gave him to Lizzie Heath. She did a marvellous job, and decided to have a go again myself. So, what a way to get back into it.
And David, the win had plenty of merit. He struck early interference, lost valuable ground. Sean Grayling, who was driving in outstanding form, didn't panic, just gradually caught the pack and went to the line very nicely.
Yeah, he said to me afterwards that he thought, well, that was the end of the race, but he didn't realise. He sort of thought that they were going a little bit slow in front, but Stan has got an ability to sort of wind him up a little bit. Once he got on the back of them, he was ready to go. And when he got the trail up, he said he just felt like a different horse.
Dave, you've been involved in harness racing for 50 plus years, starting out as a young teenager. How did it all commence?
Well, I got involved through a fellow who was just living down the road from me, and just gave us something to do. And he eventually sold us a horse, and we won a race with it. And then we just continued to buy cheap horses and try and improve them a little bit, so myself and my brother.
You've only ever played around with 2 or 3 horses at any given time?
It's only a hobby. It can't be anything more than that. I've run a business for the last 40 years, and I just wouldn't have had the time and couldn't have put that sort of effort into it. So yeah.
That business was as a mechanic?
As a motor mechanic, yeah, doing auto gas conversions, and it was quite successful. I'm winding down now. I'm just about to leave the industry. But how long do you have to work for? That's the thing.
And Dave, just having those 2 or 3 horses was the ideal cure for taking the pressures away from your business?
100%. It gave you the time to not wake up early in the morning and sweat or think about work. You could get up and rain, hail and shine and work a horse. The most important thing was that if you were going to have horses, they had to be able to run. And we've been very successful over those years, so I'm quite pleased with myself.
Working through your career, David, was there anyone in particular that influenced your career?
In horses, well, and people. Yeah, well, I think you look at some of the great trainers that were out there, but they were all so far above me. You could only listen and just watch what they were doing, and try and do it your own way, but take a little bit from what they were doing.
Despite the fact, Dave, you just had those 2 or 3 horses, you've had a number of very nice horses along the way. Semi-Sensation, Happy Ever After, Peals of Thunder, just to name a few. Yes,
they certainly have come along, and we were very lucky to purchase a broodmare way back in the 70s. And she was the highest priced broodmare at the Sydney sales, and she didn't race all that well, but she threw some nice horses, and her last mare, who threw Happy Ever After and Semi-Sensation and My Belle and Me, and she's just got a foal at foot at the ripe old age of 23 to Mr. Feelgood, so yeah, which is a full sister to Semi-Sensation.
Just going back to the Gold Standard, not a horse without its problems. In fact, had a birth defect, which you were showing me, and also another little oddity.
Yes, he came to me with what's known as a dislocating palate, or and the horses can't breathe when they're like that. So fortunately, another mare that I was racing, My Belle and Me, was a dislocator, and I just took the harness off that horse and put it onto the Gold Standard, and away we went. And it's made a few people look and go and wonder how we actually got to it. Well, that's how we got to it.
He's also got that other little oddity.
Well, he's got a bit of a cleft palate and supernumerary, extra teeth. So if he was left in the paddock to fend for himself, he'd probably starve and wouldn't do so well. So you have to feed him 3 times a day.
David, I mentioned some nice horses you've had. I'm going to mention another one now, Passion Prince. I'm going to take you back to the 4th of October 1996 when you were about a 66-1 outsider in a field of 6 at Harold Park. Yeah. Andrew Peace had the odds-on favourite. Very pleasing result as far as you were concerned.
Well, he thought he couldn't get beaten whatsoever, and I thought there's no way I could beat him as well. So it was basically up to someone else to do all the hard work, and To go there as a nobody and come back as somebody, it was a very impressive thing to do. And at that sort of price, I know my wife, she was very excited after the race, especially at that price.
No doubt. Now, David, you're someone who certainly bears your heart and soul, and a lot more.
Yes.
When it's a good cause, and you did that for the Charlie Teo Foundation.
I certainly did. It was brought to me that the plight of these young children who might suffer from brain tumours and lots of different cancers that are out there. If anyone can raise money for it, well, it's a good thing to do. So yes, I decided to sign up for the Sydney Skinny Swim and raised $10,000. So that was the year before, that was probably just pre-COVID, and it's a very rewarding thing to do.
And we must underline the fact that you did have to get all the gear off and go swimming.
100%. Yeah. But basically, when we're all got their gear off, we are all the same, and we all have the same good thoughts and really want to help wherever you can, and that's what I did.
The money raised was sensational, and you were joined by about 1,500 others, so it certainly raised a lot of money for a wonderful cause.
100%. Yep. And I would do it at a stone's. I do it in a blink. Yep.
Well, Dave, congratulations on the win of the gold standard, and hopefully that set the standard for the rest of the year for you.
I certainly hope so. Thanks so much.